What was the favorite episode, everybody? What was
Uh,
the highlights,
Get the
I
last
guess?
one.
hold on a second. I didn't know we were going through so many episodes. I gotta like jot down some notes, my nigga. The fuck?
Yeah, I think
Um,
Loop and Ocho was one of my favorites, which I guess was episode 8.
Mhm.
Um, I thought that was freaking amazing, like world building and animation, for sure. What was that other one though?
The fifth one for me.
Wait, what was the fifth one?
that was with the
The
chick.
ninth,
The
the ninth
the
Jedi.
the
Yeah, the Night
Yeah,
Jedi.
yeah, yeah,
nice, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
The
That was the
Ronin
one.
one was good. Um,
yeah.
I dipped out for the boy robot one. Y'all said that was amazing, so I don't know.
It got a lot
It
better.
was good.
It got
Yeah,
a
It was
lot
good.
better. Like,
it
I
started out
think
real fantastical, but then
Um,
it got real.
it
I like
got really serious and dark for a second.
Mhm.
this last one with like this was a Star Wars tale pretty much where not everybody turns into a Jedi. So him going to the dark side, I thought it was cool.
Mhm.
I do like. I appreciate them changing it up because to your point, and like it's kind of like everything's going the same as that route, and it's like no, this is not that. Like he's being tempted by the dark side, and he's watching him actually killing the person that he loves.
Right.
Um, all for him to have to submit to the dark side to bring her back, which is interesting.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, nah, the elder episode, I feel like there's more to that joint.
Which episode was that?
The elder is the one with Seth that kind of just like crumbled.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Uh, the master and his Padawan.
yeah,
Yeah,
You
this,
that
talking
was
about the one with David Arbor or no?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
That
that
was
was
All right.
really interesting because the way they
Episode
played
seven.
up those guys in the very beginning, I think all of us kind of figured something was weird
something
or
off.
hidden or just
Yes,
off, and they come to find out that's just them. And
yeah.
actually, that when you really think about master Padawan relationships, they all have that weird thing in there.
Like somebody's not being completely honest, and
Mm,
somebody's leaving out a lot of information that's really key.
Mhm.
But
Uh,
I do like the directing of that and the way that they
what was that one called with the old Sith user or the old dark side?
it's called The Elder. That was
okay.
episode 7.
Yeah, that was good. I like when they showed different relationships between Padawans and Masters. There was a Star Wars comic I really liked that had yeah, pretty much the same setup as Obi-Wan and Anakin, where the
Hmm.
apprentice was a lot more naturally powerful than the master, except
Mhm.
their relationship was healthy. So see how they worked. It was like, hey, you're very powerful. You probably see more than I can see, but let me help you fine tune this, and it was really cool. Sidious had him killed, but
Yeah.
Right.
Yikes.
I think the first episode, the duel with the Ronin, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like if you're a Ghost of Tsushima fan or, Seven Samurai, like this is for you. Like this is a classic samurai story.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like we still don't really know
Oh
anything
damn.
about this
A
man. Like
T-shirt.
he could have been a Seth. We don't know.
Repping the T-shirt. Yeah. Yeah. No, for me it was episode
Yeah.
1, Ronin. Episode 5, and then my favorite was episode 8 with the rabbit chick, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
which
my favorite.
one out of all of them has to? If you could pick one, only one, which one has to get a
A
series?
whole series.
It's definitely the rabbit girl one for me.
Yeah.
no,
It was probably the most complete episode, in my
Hmm.
opinion. Most
I'll
Like
be
complete.
you got everybody's motivations.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you almost you to the point where you could almost root for every last one of them, even
Yeah.
Locke to a
I'd be
degree.
more interested in the Ninth Jedi for the world building. It's not just the Empire again. It's not super weapons to destroy things. Like I thought that
Mhm.
was pretty. I thought that was a good premise to continue in the story. Um,
Right.
It was good. There were some good mystery elements there that are kind of unresolved, I suppose.
That could be, yeah, fleshed out in further storytelling.
Yeah.
And I think what I liked about that one was that like it felt like the beginning, like the first steps of an odyssey. It felt like she was about to go on a big adventure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like the Village Bride episode. It was kind of, I didn't know where they were going with it, but then I was like, this is actually really cool. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Lop and Ocho, which is episode 8, is what the prequels, or not the prequels, the new sequels should have been. Like, so far removed that this is something else more
That's an
expansive.
excuse. That's an excuse. I'm sorry. I'm tired of people get like y'all give this excuse to the sequels. They were poorly planned out and they were poorly written. You
No,
can't
no,
get
no. I'm just saying
you get a
that
great
I would
series.
have, I would have been like, this is the thing. If you look at just the
Take this
pilot of
person.
this, right? And they took this pilot and made it a live action, right? And
Yeah,
went on a movie series of it, and then they could
yeah,
still make an expansive world built around that in an animation form, in anime form. Like, this had almost everything from an expansion standpoint that I'd be
yeah.
like, I'm all behind it.
So
Um,
I think you're right, but that comes from having a story where you can expand on. See, the sequel's main problem is they tried to redo what the originals did and left no room for any kind of growth. Like
yeah.
like if you look at for as terribly directed the prequels were, there was so much story you could build out of the prequels because they built new sections of the universe.
This is true.
The sequels killed all the Jedi again, so you have instead of having a new class of Jedi or a new temple that you could build stories off, or maybe a sprinter, you pretty much told the Darth Vader story again. Like it was.
Well, the sequels, they didn't ultimately know where they were going. The prequels, I don't like them, but at least the prequels, like there was like a road. Clearly, there was like a roadmap.
And they fit.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And they fit. I'm sorry, Sam. You know how sensitive this topic is to me.
Oh no!
No.
I mean, I knew
No.
as soon as we started, down this rabbit hole, I was like, this is gonna be a very interesting conversation.
No, no, and I'm not gonna defend them, not for real, but like I'm the kind of person that like if I see something on the other side of the equation, I try to point it out. Um, I feel like part of the reason why 7, 8, 9 seemed like it was repetitious is because it was intentionally like it was supposed to show that generational curse of the Skywalker family or
Yeah, it was
whatever.
definitely intentional,
What
particularly with Force Awakens.
generational curse? All right. So
You can smash it to bits, but I'll just throw some
there
out
is
there.
no generational curse, and it wasn't about the Skywalkers. It's about this random girl, right? And you can't say, all right.
Well, in fairness, she was
You can plagiarize Michelle Obama's speech. It's still a copy, right? You didn't tell a new story. You just rehashed the story we already saw before. Like there is no defense for not having a planned out trilogy in this day and age for Disney.
I mean, for that, no, there's no defense there.
No.
There's no defense there.
Look, I know we're all joking, and everybody's entitled to like what they like. I don't want to come off like you can't like the sequels, but
Well, no, I mean, I love Force Awakens. I do genuinely love Last Jedi, but there's no denying that not only is Rise of the Skywalker is probably the worst Star Wars movie I think I've ever seen, but because it's almost like they just didn't try. But it's so fucked because it's just like the third movie sort of whether you were hating or loving when you got there, it kind of just makes everything just a big convoluted mess.
Yeah, it put the nail
So,
in the actual coffin, regardless of what you put your expectation. Because this is the thing for me. During the Last Jedi, I was kind of like I toyed with the idea that what, I would be okay if Rey legit went to the dark side. I would love to see where that's gonna
Where
go.
that would
What
I
does that
wish
mean?
they had done that. I wish they had done that personally.
That at least been an interesting storyline, even though they still treat the Force like an X-Men mutant power. At least been an interesting storyline if she went to the dark side. At least been something new, and Kylo to flip or something like that.
And they could have done it.
That would have
their movie. They could have done it in the third movie.
They really could have. And
I feel like they hinted it.
And I don't know what the original script that Colin had, and they talked around a lot of different things that the whole entire time Finn was actually, gonna be the one that was gonna try to do something. But it doesn't even matter at this point.
Yeah, it's too late now.
such a waste of a character.
Yeah,
Finn was really literally the most interesting character in the first movie. He had a rapport or relationship with every other main character. He's kind of like him and Rey clearly had chemistry. Him and Poe had chemistry.
Yeah.
Even him and Kylo Ren, for being a traitor, had a story arc, going there.
They implied some stuff like Kylo was like, wait, you, the soldier, such and such. Like, yeah, they did imply a lot of different things. And this is the other thing this weird is that the character in this anime joint from the Elder, I was like, do I know any other black Jedi outside of Mace Windu? Is there any other black Jedi, like, for real? Like, I mean, I thought about it, and I was kind of just like,
I mean,
probably not. Probably not.
It's just weird, right?
You have Quillen Voss, who's I think he's Aborigine though. I don't think he's.
I don't think he is either. And I was kind of like, I mean, I don't know if this character is, but I know for a fact the dude Jordan Fisher is. So
I mean, there's black people with makeup on for being aliens, but I don't know.
yeah, that's true. It's a shame what happened with that trilogy because I genuinely do like. I thought Force Awakens was dope because the prequels were so mind-fuckingly bad to me that it was great to have something that, at least to me, felt like a weird hybrid of something new and something old. And then The Last Jedi totally went left, which I don't know. That Last Jedi is such a bizarre situation. I mean, I love it, but like, I guess on some level, I can see why some fans didn't like it because of just how definitive and subversive it was, like the entire time. And then in the third movie, it's almost as if like everyone just went retarded behind the fucking writing desk. So it's
I don't
such
even
a
know if it
bizarre.
was that. It was like they tried to please everybody and at the same time screw everybody. It's so weird to say.
Ryan Johnson tried to do something bold, and then fucking in the third movie, JJ and everybody got scared of the decisions that he made, and they tried to renege and please everybody.
We try to say Ryan Johnson did something bold. He made a movie that wasn't part of a saga. He made a movie that wasn't part of a saga. He made something that was his own universe with his own thing, then maybe that would have been fine. But he inserted a movie that didn't fit with anything else before it or after it. So and we know and then from the guy that was going to direct the third one, he was like, this messes up my original outline for the thing.
Correct.
And they like, well, no, we like Ryan Johnson's. And the story didn't make sense. You know what would have made a better story? If they had thought Holdo was a spy, or they thought that there was going on. But
again, they didn't plan accordingly. That's sort of the underpinning issue. Like they
lost the philosophy of Star Wars, right? So you lost the philosophy behind the Force. They treated the Force like it was an X-Men mutant power, where you're born with things that you could just do stuff, and it wasn't where before you had to have a philosophy to access abilities. So like they said, they said a lot of things that we just watched, or the Mandalorian, things like that. They just wanted you to do stuff. Hey, look, remember this was a cool thing from the other movies. We're gonna do.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that I interpreted it that way. I just interpreted it that like just technically anyone. Well, I interpreted it as sort of like the Force wasn't beholden to an elite status. Like technically anyone, like some homeless nigga in the middle of nowhere who ain't worth nothing could get the Force. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
See, that's the PR narrative. I'm sorry, I'm over talking you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just saying I actually liked what Ryan Johnson. I liked that the Force could be relegated to the least seeming person, if you will. It's not only just for like the Skywalkers and certain Jedi families.
Skywalkers.
Well, maybe not exclusively. No, maybe not exclusively. But
the Force could be with any person from any class. It wasn't a social class. It before the Skywalkers, it wasn't even really a bloodline. They kept releasing this. Disney kept releasing this thing. We wanted to say it was more for just the Skywalkers and anybody could have the Force. That was already a thing. Like it was already a thing, and it's weird that they kept pushing that narrative. The
Last Jedi.
The press stuff around the Last Jedi, they were like, "Oh, we want to say anybody could have the Force, and anybody can always have the Force." That wasn't the purpose. The purpose is, I used to know this, but it was more Eastern philosophy of Internalize. Oh, so when you play video games from Japan, it would be more like you have to master your internal. So take Mega Man, you have to master your internal, and you could do something for the outside, right? Where if you go to American shooter games, I'm getting this gun and I'm shooting you. So it's existential. I used to know philosophies, and I'm. But so the sequels switched it around. They treated the Force like a gun.
Sure.
You have a right to have this gun. You have this gun. Anybody can have this gun, and you do with that gun what you want. Before it was you had to master your inner self, and how you master your inner self, whether it was through anger or peace, that relayed outwards. And I get it. Most people aren't thinking about this. The mainstream people don't care about this, except they just know something's off. It was the philosophy that, in my opinion, it was the philosophy of not having a philosophy behind your magic system that made these movies feel more hollow to me.
So I got a question to that note, going back to just this episode, episode 8, because the main character, she was found, his family took her in, in general, I mean, we never saw her really exhibiting anything necessarily. It wasn't until she knew for a fact she wanted to protect her family. She knew for a fact what her convictions were. But then when he shared with her where she comes from, what's going on, and what he stands for, it was interesting that I started to notice her start to process and evolve into a Jedi, but not a fully realized one. So I know that the whole entire Force Awakens, Rey was steadily that was starting to happen. Do you feel like in this episode, Gold for you specifically, that they handled that philosophy with more credibility, in your opinion, than they did with the Force Awakens? Because I mean, I felt like this was really more of a natural progression that was really ingrained within her from just being with this family for this amount of time. I don't know where she formally trained. I'm not sure what she was provided, but it felt like she didn't attain everything until this moment. Like it all built up into the fact. And it happened long before she actually got the lightsaber. I felt like it was in the moment of desperation that she has to do this, she has faced this, that now everything's kind of going to where she's supposed to be. I was just curious from your perspective, because a lot of that can be pulled from how they handle Rey, but I felt like the handling of Rey was really different than this too.
I think in all of the episodes, they showed the philosophy behind whatever faction you were following. Even the last one fell, and I think that people were using the Sith and the Jedi like football teams, and not that this is how you access. This is how you access your inner power or the Force, connect to the Force around you, things like that. I think with her, they were showing that she was having a moral code. She grew up with this, and that she was. Now, and I wish she was here because I think you talk more about this. Because I read something else about you could adopt somebody. If you're a Japanese family, you could adopt somebody in your family, and it's not about blood. It's about I'm passing on how we do things to you and to that next generation. And so I felt that's what we were doing with her. And I think that's more of a she is of that family, not that she's on there. She is of that family because she adopted the philosophy of that family, and it seemed like that family identified or adopted the Jedi philosophies into their household beliefs. So I think that was done more because I think that's what a Jedi isn't being able to push or pull Force thing. It's you know what a Jedi is? Jedi is, and I've never really seen this ever repeated in another movie. I'm trying to think of one right now, but where Luke throws the lightsaber away after he sees Vader on the ground, he can kill Vader. He sees Vader's hand. The Emperor's like cackling, like, I got you, And he looks at the Vader, he's like, no, you lost. I'm a Jedi like my father before me. Right there, Luke won. Like, didn't matter what happened after that. Didn't matter if the Emperor killed him, anything. Luke won right there, and I don't think people understand that. Like,
no, I think I see what you're saying. You're sort of saying that a true Jedi is not so much about like the flashy powers or Leia flying around. You mean more so like from a purely moral standpoint. So it's just like, I guess, morally good, I suppose.
A philosophy. It's a philosophy. I don't. It's just to me, yes, but it's just a philosophy.
Sure. Well, I mean, you're describing a very like selfless, innately good act, I guess, is what you're describing. With him throwing away the lightsaber and sort of being like, no, this is as far as it needed to go. Because that's what a Jedi is supposed to do, even if my life was taken moments later.
This is what I'm gonna do.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's interesting because they did that in 2 different episodes. The dual episode, the last thing that he told the dude Daniel is like, continue to remember your training, but continue to be good.
Kind.
And I think even with this
yeah.
guy, the dad told her, he was like, look, you're a part of his family regardless, and I apologize, yada yada yada, but you're a good person.
Right.
Like, he straight up like said it. And I think throughout the different episodes in this, you can see it, whether it's the Astro Boy episode, whether it's
the Ronin one.
the Ronin one, like inherently there's something of essence of good that it's spoken to, it's spoken about, which is interesting.
And I think one of the things that always appealed to me in the expanded universe and how George Lucas explained how the Force works, and it's not just I'm a great warrior, it's how you are a warrior, right? Like I can stop this person from killing this girl, but if I go on a murder spree or I kill a guy that's surrendering, or what Mace Windu was going to do to kill the Emperor or whatnot, these things have an effect on who you are. Right. On how you out. It's almost like the Batman rule. Batman knows he's messed up. He doesn't kill because once he knows he kills, he will not be able to trust himself.
That's
anymore.
It.
He knows there's the limit he won't be able to stop. And to me, the battle between the dark side and the light side isn't just good or evil acts. It's like it's a balance. Like maybe I can win this fight, but should I fight this fight? Should I? If I'm going to be, there was a great line in one of the books where when Luke's wife gets killed, and one of the twins that did it, and they're like, "Are you going to go after him?" And he was like, "I can't. Like, I literally can't because I know what I'm going to do if I fight him. I'm going to lose myself." And it should be that. I might not be explaining this well, but it's
no. What you're saying is making sense. You're basically just saying it's like, how can I win while still being like having a good spirit in the end, still being morally sound. Basically the Batman example you gave, like when Joker was trying to corrupt Batman every fucking which way in the Dark Knight.
Right.
But it's like Batman can never truly stoop down to that level and just go snap Joker's neck really quick because his spirit would be tainted. Morally, he would be tainted. So, yeah.
And once you lose yourself, it becomes more addictive. And then, so for us, then I'm on the dark side. I've caused so much pain that I can no longer go back. I hate myself, or I hate you, or whatever the thing is. So I'm sorry, I get really passionate about that, but like I think that's what the newer movies, they just forgot about their philosophy. They just forgot about.
I don't know that they forgot about it. I just think there just wasn't really like a coherent plan and like where to end these characters, like where are we going to place these characters, and sort of like next to like the Mace Windu's or like Yoda, like these iconic characters. It's like they didn't know how to do that. It's almost like they were improvising the whole time. It's weird.
I'd have loved to see a Finn who was morally he would kill stormtroopers in those movies and just be so happy. But these are they're brainwashed kids like you were. Like there should have been some kind of. And they tried to do it in the last movie, but it just kind of fell flat. Like I don't know.
Sure.
It was like anyway. I've ran it.
So okay, all right. So this is the biggest test. This is the biggest test right here, you guys. After watching these 9 episodes, does this revitalize your Star Wars love again?
No, I mean, I've always loved Star Wars. I still do love Star Wars. I don't know that it revitalized my love, so I would say no. But I mean, because I probably will always love Star Wars, to be honest with you. I'm just angry with what they've done with this. Even though I love the 2 sequels, I'm still angry with what they've done because it's a clusterfuck. It's just like a convoluted mess now. But But no, I think my love for Star Wars will always be there. Like I can't wait to see Mandalorian. You know, I'm curious what they do with future episodic movies. You know, hopefully they don't suck. But yeah, I don't think it revitalized my love. No. I think it as much fun as I have with these episodes, I think they were too miniature, too fleeting for it to revitalize my love for Star Wars. But I mean, for me personally, no.
Both ants. What about y'all?
I'm gonna say real quick that kind of similar. My love for Star Wars is what it is. Like it's not going to diminish.
Yeah,
Even if I'm not actively watching this stuff, like the
yeah.
whole lore, the way everything is laid out, like the fantasy of it all is flipping amazing. Now, what it did do was definitely give me more. Being that I'm kind of the newbie technically of the group to anime, it gave me much more like dimensions on anime and how we can use anime to portray different universes and whatnot.
Mm.
So that part blew just exponentially. Like I already love anime, and it showed me, yeah, we can do it this way, we can do it that way, we can do the cutesy stuff, we can do the hardcore stuff. Like boom,
Right.
Yeah.
Um, I think my abusive relationship with Star Wars. uh, you know what kind of got me? I watched The Mandalorian with always like 1 foot in. Like this is the first period of my life where I bought no Star Wars material, but my daughter will still buy me stuff because like this. Oh no, we're not sure. I had another shirt on earlier. She'll buy me
Yeah,
stuff.
I peeped that. Yeah.
You know, she knows she grew up with me loving Star Wars. Like, but you know what got me was the scene where Luke came back at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian. Like, I tear it up. I was like, that's the Luke I wanted to see, right?
Right.
This gives me more hope that there are people that can come up with creative angles or use what's already there to show us what we wanted to see that we couldn't see in from the 70s, 80s movies, but we can see in a comic or a novel. We can see those visuals now in this, and you can tell good stories. You can have compelling characters. You can have characters with character arcs. You don't have to make perfect characters.
Right.
Just,
Sure.
And I don't know. That's what I saw. I got more character development out of these shorts. Was it 8 or 9 shorts? I got out of all the sequels, right? So, you know, and there was diversity. There was complexity. There was emotion. There was growth. That's what I want to see, and I think that made me happy. So
Yeah, I just want them to just to nail an episodic fucking movie series. It's like it's like the only trilogy that is like as perfect as you could plausibly get it. Bizarrely, is the original trilogy, and it's like, what is happening? This should not be this hard of a fucking task. Like to make 3 movies back to back that are great. This should not be that difficult.
with the money Disney has, they could have just sat down and made an outline. Made an outline for every character.
Yeah.
And you could change the outline, of course. Like
yeah.
But
because there's certain moments that I just loved in the like the one moment in the Last Jedi where Kylo was like, he almost was like begging Rey to sort of just to take his hand and to become dark. That scene always freaks me out because every point this nigga was making was sound. I was like, God damn, Rey, maybe you should go ahead and go with this nigga. You know what I mean? Like, there's moments like that in the Force Awakens as well, where it's like, fuck, it's like you guys were getting so close, dog. Shit, damn it. It's just frustrating.
Pass. Like I was like, all right, cool. They redid this thing, but there's
it's a great movie. It's legitimately a great movie for sure.
One movie. It's a rehash of the original Star New Hope, but I was like, you know, there's some mystery here. Why would this here? I thought Rey might be a Skywalker, and her mind got wiped, and they left her on Tatooine. Like, you know, I thought I was all those different theories.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, and that's the thing, I love mystery. I love people to talk things out, try to figure things out. What's the mythos here? What's the mythos?
Right.
And, so I was not down on the sequels. I was like, all right, I'm a little cautious, but this was a fun ride. I'm liking these characters. I want to see where they're going to go. I'm sure they're going to have great arcs. Sure. They just didn't.
Look, honestly, I'm kind of hoping they left themselves some room for what if with those, with all of those, all those things. Because when you really think about it, and as you just mentioned it, like the fanfic or theories that came up from those kind of like New Rockstars, Nerdist, those kind of outlets.
Yeah,
those ended up being so much more fun to kind of theoretically go down those paths than what actually ended up happening. Like if they just did some what ifs on those, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But you have to take chances. Like you have to take chances. Like that's what I feel like. They say Ryan Johnson took chances, but I also felt like it was safe. Like I feel like no, we can't have Rey go to the dark side. That may be a very interesting twist on the story. Like and Kylo come back. That would be interesting. But no, we didn't do it. All right, we're gonna say the Rise of Skywalker. We're gonna kill every Skywalker there is, but she's just gonna take the name.
Well, see, my issue was is that like the ending is my favorite part of the story, and when you don't nail the ending, you unfortunately, I don't care what good you did before, you sabotage the story if you don't nail the ending, and that's the biggest
Game of Thrones.
I watch Game of Thrones. I love the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones, but because
it's great.
But I can't go back and watch it. Like it's hard. It's painful. It's painful.
Yeah. It's hard.
And also because Marvel did I Am Iron Man, you're gonna say I am the Jedi? Like I don't understand. I am all the Sith. I am all the Jedi. Where did this come from? What? Like,
hey, look, we are the Flash, bro. It's all good.
So I mean, I think we're all saying the same thing. If they had a better plan, even if they didn't fit to what I thought the Force should be, I think if they just had a coherent story, I'd be like, cool. It's a cool story with some cool visuals.
Well, I think it's interesting that as much as the movies have pissed us off, we've all admitted that we still love Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. I realized I had my heart broken by the sequels, and I had to go trauma therapy. It was rough. I'm slowly coming back. Tell Sam. It was every other day. I was ranting about Star Wars.
Dude, hey, look. I left that group, right? I left the group that I created. I created the group. I left. No. Yeah, you remember? No, it wasn't because of you. It was that was not your fault.
There were some trolls up in there.
There was some. It was a lot of trolls and triggering. Like we have playful banter and debates now, which is cool. But back then, dude, I like, man, I got to mute y'all. I was like, I come in there, I'm getting attacked. I'm like, let me get out of here, bro.
You got attacked?
Oh. Yeah, dude, it was some trolling going on. And
I'm passionate. I don't. My opinion. If you could prove me wrong or not prove, if you just debate me and have good points, I like to say, oh, okay, that's a different.
Same.
Yeah, I'm and just because I'm passionate about something doesn't mean I'm discounting anybody else's perspective or agency. Like what you like, like what you like. Right. And I think there's something. I think every piece of media and art, there's somebody that. It's for somebody, right? It's going to speak to you in a different way, and that's all this is art. You know? And also, I take a personal thing with certain stories growing up because to me, those things were my mythos. Like Spider-Man was my mythos. Star Wars. I literally growing up, where and how I grew up. Luke Skywalker taught me how to deal with my anger. Like it was oh, I gotta let this go. It doesn't you don't have to transfer this trauma to yourself. At some point, somebody has to say, no, I'm not gonna let this happen. I'm not gonna let these things dictate how I am gonna be. I'm not gonna let those circumstances. Yeah. So them, or even Spider-Man being poor, help me deal with being poor. Like I was like, Spider-Man, he can't.
That's real.
Sometimes live with his aunt,
Yeah.
go from there. So I think that in some of these things, these stories, and I'll share this is that it was a time when I was homeless as a kid, but I had an abandoned house where I kept my comics and my different like sci-fi stuff that inspired me not to get involved with certain things or not to let certain things like and that. So I know I am ultra biased when it comes to some of these characters and how to portray things like that. So to see Luke regress and in a way I don't really expect that triggered me in a way that didn't make sense. So anytime I argue passionately about something, I like good geek debates, like who could beat who,
Same.
who could do this, but it's never anything malicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like one of my first movies I've ever seen was the 1989 Batman. Like literally, I was what 2 years old or three, I don't even know. But like for me, the understanding of cinema in and of itself, from what Tim Burton did from that, from understanding, Batman is not like he's the facade, and Bruce Wayne is really well, no, Bruce Wayne is the facade, and Batman is what's going on within this man's heart. You know what I'm saying? The understanding of duality that no matter what you show on the outside, it might be something completely different that everybody doesn't see, and then that's okay. You can actually make that and funnel that into something positive. Because it was kind of like for me growing up, I was like, dude, I'm an athlete, but now I'm a geek. I got crazy family members, and at the same time, I'm sheltered. Like what is this really like? I'm always living in two different worlds at all times. And I thought I was going crazy, but I was kind of like, no, well, Batman is semi crazy, but he's able to be the epitome of what humans could be.
Yeah.
And and what he's able to be capable of is unheard of. And so he's used it in a certain kind of way and funneled it in a good positive way. So I completely understand what you're saying. And like some of these characters go beyond our reasoning because it's a part of us. We've been able to use it to get through life literally and become something completely different. So
yeah, well, you just gave me some insight into some of these Last Jedi haters because I mean I've loved Star Wars since I was a little kid, but for me the choices made with Luke Skywalker and Last Jedi, they weren't triggering because it was just nice to see him even though he's not a man, but as a man, because he essentially is a man, if you get me. Like, it was just nice seeing him not being some kind of like Jesus hierarchy type of character. It was interesting seeing him flawed and then going out and, in my opinion, in one of the most OG ways ever. Jesus Christ. But like that last moment with him and Leia and the Last Jedi, it's just like, holy shit. But this nigga just force projected across a galaxy, my nigga, goodness. But yeah, I can understand how someone had a totally different interpretation. We're looking for maybe a more, I don't know what's a better word, but more savior-esque kind of Luke Skywalker, or more not as flawed Skywalker.
Savior. I'm all about flawed characters. That's not what I mean. Is that to me, they regressed them, right? So when people what they came out and said later on is that every time they put Luke Skywalker in a scene, they felt like he ate up, he stole the whole scene, and they didn't want him to do that because they wanted new characters to breathe, right? So they had to figure out ways that lessen him up and put him in other things. To me, you just show him in his next transition of life as being a teacher. He's not the hero swashbuckling around. He's the teacher. He's the mentor. And I thought that showing him again, because in my mind, or how I read about Jedi was how they processed the trauma, how they had this this Buddhist philosophy of how they dealt with the pain, trauma, the world, the negativity, things like that.
Yeah.
And it didn't show him any growth. Like he was still that whiny kid from back in Empire, and we should have seen him grow past that and have new challenges. And I see that they wanted to old man Logan him some, and that might work work for Logan. But we're talking about a Shaolin monk here at this point, right? Should be different. His struggle should be on a different plane. And it could be, how do I be a teacher? How do I mentor someone that's blah blah blah? Essentially holding Sam. If you trusted me to teach, if your kid going to come to me to learn psychology, and I was mentoring him to be a therapist, and And I look at his notes one day, and he's twisting the minds of people. Wants to twist the minds of people and create that. And I freak out and hold a gun to his head for a second. How would you feel about me after that scene?
I'll be like, you know what? We are not getting any more lessons from that man.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, yeah.
Listen. In Luke's defense, the nigga sent something real powerful.
Well,
So I mean, this is the other side of that is that he thought about it. And
Yeah.
so I'm to be fair, because I feel like I understand what both of you guys are saying,
Yeah.
but from a human reaction, right? We think some crazy things.
100%.
In our heads, we think some really dark things sometimes, even if we don't act on it. The problem is that this ninja, he almost went full tilt. I think it would have been more interesting
Almost,
is
though. Yeah.
if Ben would have felt
yes.
Luke's intent as opposed to him actually doing it. I
Sure.
don't think that there needed to actually be an action because Jedi are force sensitive.
Sure.
If Ben would have been like, wait, I feel like my master wants to kill me. And then they played with that. Like both of them in their heads were like, okay, I can't trust this ninja.
That would have been a better
but
moment.
then
I mean
I
that's a
don't
little
know
bit.
if this ninja gonna kill me.
Sure. I mean
And
that's a little bit.
That would have been a better moment.
That's a little bit tricky because I mean essentially the same thing happened. It's just albeit I guess maybe Luke isn't standing over him with a fucking lightsaber, but I mean theoretically speaking, even with what you're saying, the same
Not
thing
to your
is
best
happening.
friend and sister's kid's head. just picture that moment. Just picture that moment. But I would also say this is that if you think about some of the things we got exposed to, like Batman showed you how people process trauma, how your trauma can inform your behaviors now. All his villains were more interesting than almost any other characters' pantheons of villains because they were dealing you were like, oh man, if they were treated a little kinder or a little different, somebody showed them some humanity, they might not be villains, right? Or you watch Gargoyles, and that's how I got into Shakespeare. Like,
right.
You know, the writing that we were exposed to as kids. I mean, you rarely see that. You know what I mean? That level.
That's true.
Huh?
No, I said that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, and that's me. And again, you like that movie? That's fine. If you weren't thinking about this, I get it. It's the same way I get why my little cousins love the prequels. Like they see no faults in the prequels whatsoever.
Oh my goodness, goodness.
There are some people that legit have no issues at all with the prequels.
Like Attack of the Clones is boring. Like it's a boring movie.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started, dog.
And it's a waste of the movie. You should just show us the Clone War. Don't show us a movie about the start of a war. And also Canto Bight was a terrible third of a movie too. I'm sorry. I don't understand. You like the gambling planet?
They could have cut that whole scene out.
What?
Extra point for me.
Are you talking about the casino moment in Last Jedi?
When Finn and Rose went to the casino.
So I've said that because boy, I've got some heat for loving the Last Jedi, boy. But no, the casino aspect, I still contend it certainly is probably the weakest, one of the weaker elements of the film. But it wasn't anything that was like soul crushing. It wasn't anything that like I felt like I was being dragged through fucking blades of glass or some shit. Like,
so it didn't feel dated to you?
What, the casino thing? No, it didn't feel dated. It's not like we spent like fucking 2 hours there. It's not. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
It was a third of the movie. It was a third of the movie. On that.
It wasn't that serious to hate. I suppose. Not for me. No.
But you know, at the same time,
I think if
I felt something.
So I think that for me is that way I look at it is like if I'm playing that movie again, am I more likely to fast forward through it? If I'm more likely to fast forward through it, it didn't need to be there.
I mean, I understand. I don't know. It didn't hit me in such a negative way personally. I felt like he was just trying to add some variety to the story, and hilariously, so many people did not fuck with it. But no, it didn't hit me like that. It wasn't that bad. It's definitely one of the weaker moments for sure. Maybe the weakest.
You know how I test some moments is when if you look up YouTube clips of stuff, like if you can go back to a piece of media or a piece of entertainment, look up a YouTube, you know what? You're sitting there like, I want to see that that newsroom clip where he says America ain't the greatest country in the world. I'm just gonna look that up real quick. Or I wanna, you know what I mean? No one ever does this. It's just me. That's just, okay.
So I gotta go. On that note, I'm gonna stop this recording. If I do show this to anybody, hopefully you guys enjoyed this moment of talking about Star Wars.
Debating
Philosophy and debate.
I liked Visions.
Yeah, Visions was great. Visions was good.
Visions was really good. If we do post this reaction on Twitch, hopefully you guys enjoyed our reaction to it.
I apologize. I forgot we were recording.
No, this is what the people need. This is what the people need right here. Okay, passion. All right.
And I'm gonna end the recording on that note. Peace, guys.